የካቲት 23 1888 ያለምን የታሪክ የፖለቲካ አካሄድ የለወጠ ነጮች በጥቁሮች ላይ የነበራቸውን የበላይነት ያፈረሰና ለጥቁር ህዝቦች ታላቅ ትንሳኤ የሆነበት ደማቅ ድል አስመዝግባለች ኢትዮጵያ። ይህ ከ127 ዓመት በፊት በአድዋ ተራሮች ላይ የተደረገ ኢትዮጵያውያን ቀኝ ገዢ ጣሊያንን ያሸነፉበት የአድዋ ድል በዓል ነው። የተለያዩ የታሪክ ተመራማሪዎች እንደሚገልጹትም የአድዋ ድል ለኢትዮጵያውያን ብቻ ሳይሆን ለመላ ጥቁር ህዝቦች ኩራት፣ ለነጮች ደግሞ የውርደት ካባ እንዲከናነቡ የተደረገበት ነው ይላሉ። ይህንን ታላቅ የድል በዓል ለመዘከር ያለመና ልዩ ልዩ ታሪካዊና ጥንታዊ የጦር መሳሪያዎችን ጨምሮ የጀግኖችን ተጋድሎ የሚያሳይ አውደ ርዕይ በኢፌዴሪ መከላከያ ሰራዊት መኮንኖች ግቢ ተከፍቷል። በዝግጅቱ ላይ የተገኙትና አውደ ርዕዩን የከፈቱት የባህልና ስፖርት ሚኒስትሩ ቀጀላ መርዳሳ የአድዋ ድል በዓል በርካታ ቅርሶችና ታሪኮች የሚገኙበት በመሆኑ በጥናትና በተገቢው መንገድ ሊመዘገብ ይገባል ብለዋል።
የአድዋ ድል በታሪክ ነው በአብዛኛው የምንነገረው፣ ግን ቅርሶቹ በትክክል ወይም በተገቢው ጥናት አልተመዘገበም ወይም አልተሰበሰበም አልተሰነደም ማለት ይቻላል። አድዋ ሰፊ ታሪክ አለው፣ በውስጡ ብዙ ጉዳዮችን ያዘለ ነው።
በአውደ ርዕዩ ላይ ጉብኝት ሲያደርጉ ያገኘናቸው የቀድሞው የነጋድራስ ጋዜጣ ስራ አስኪያጅ አያሌው አስረስ በበኩላቸው መሰል ኤግዚቢሽኖች በአዲስ አበባ ብቻ ሳይሆን በክልሎችም ሊቀጥሉ ይገባል ብለዋል።
ይሄ ኤግዚቢሽን አዲስ አበባ ላይ ብቻ አይቅር፣ መከላከያ ግቢ ብቻ አይቅር፣ በዋና ዋና ከተሞች እንደ ጅማ፣ እንደ መቱ፣ እንደ ጎንደር፣ እንደ ደብረ ማርቆስ፣ እንደ ባህር ዳር፣ እንደ መቀሌ እና ባሉ ዋና ከተሞች እንዲታይ ማድረግ አለበት መከላከያ። በሁለት ምክንያት ነው። አንደኛው ምክንያት እዛም መስዋዕትነት የተከፈለ ትውልድ አለ። አንደኛው ምክንያት ይሄ ትግል የሚመለከተው ትውልድ አለ። ሁለተኛው ደግሞ ነገ የሚመጣው ትውልድ የሚነሳው ከዚህ ስለሆነ ነው።
127ኛው የአድዋ ድል በዓል አንድነት፣ ጀግንነትና ጽናት በሚል መሪ ሐሳብ በተለያዩ ዝግጅቶች እየተከበረ ይገኛል።
In this exhibition, what you see is literally a specific narrative. It tells the story of the Battle of Adwa, how the battle was fought and won. So it's a story. It's like basically having a book. It is just more in a kind of image-centered way that we try to share this with the people, with our people. Okay, so it tells the story. Because the Battle of Adwa was not just a singular event in one place. It was a kind of a long struggle from, I think, from the time that the Italians decided to colonize our region to the time that we were able to defeat them in 1888 Ethiopian calendar or 1896 European calendar. Just because that we go through some hardships, that doesn't take away the victory. I say, the ones who fought and were able to be victorious they are the beautiful ones. They will always remain the beautiful ones. Why are they the beautiful ones? Because they preserved our independence, our freedom. They also showed us that in time of difficulty.
Really, this is the shining history for black people of the world, particularly for the Africans and especially for Ethiopians. It's a great symbol of unity. It's a great symbol of fighting for freedom. It's a great symbol of commitment. It's a great symbol of unity, not only by idea, but also by mixing the blood and the flesh of the nation and nationality of Ethiopia.
The military, the Ethiopian army should learn from its own history. Adwa is our military history and our military victory. So the contemporary Ethiopian army should learn from Adwa what its cause was and what the significance it has and what an impact it has made on the Ethiopian army. The Ethiopian army should learn from that. Second, as you see on the emblem of the celebration, Adwa is the victory of the celebration of courage, perseverance, you know. So the Ethiopian people has a strong support to the Ethiopian army during the battle of Adwa. Without the people's participation, the victory was an impossible effort. To the people that without you, we are nothing.
በአባቶች ተጋድሎ የተገኘውና ከሀገሬው አልፎ ለመላው ጥቁር ሕዝብ የነጻነት ፋና ወጊ የሆነው የአድዋ ድል በተዋጊዎች ብቻ ሳይሆን በአራሽም በአጉራሽም ጭምር የተገኘ ድል ነው። ለሌሎች ባርነትን እንቢ ያሉ ትግሎችና ተከታትለው ለመጡ ድሎች መሰረት የሆነው የአድዋ ድል ከጦርነቱ በፊት ቀድመው በመንፈስና በወኔ ስንቅ የጀገሩ ሀገር ወዳድ አባቶች የተሰለፉበት መሆኑን ወዳጅም ጠላትም እኩል የመሰከሩበት ነው። በወቅቱ ሀገር ሊወር የመጣው የፋሽስት ጣሊያን ወገን ሆኖ ታሪክን ሲከትብ የነበረው ጆርጅ በርክሊ ሳይቀር ዘ ራይዝ ኦፍ ኢምፓየር በሚለው መጽሐፉ በርካታ አዝማሪዎች በጎበዝ አለቆቻቸው ስር በመሆን አብረው ወደ ጦር አውድማ ዘምተው ጀግናን እንደ ሰይፍ የሚስል ፈሪን ደግሞ እንዳልባሌ የሚያጣጥል ግጥም እየገጠሙ በዜማ ወኔያቸውን ያነሳሷቸው እንደነበር እማኝ ሆኖ አስፍሯል። እቴጌ ጣይቱ ወደ ጦርነቱ ካዘመቱት ሰራዊት ጋር 150 የሞራል ስንቅ የሰነቁ አዝማሪዎችን አብረው አዝምተዋል። የእቴጌ ጣይቱ የግል አዝማሪ የነበረችው አዝማሪ ጻዲቄና የራስ ሚካኤል የግል አዝማሪ የነበሩት ሐሰን አማኑ የተባሉ አይነ ስውር አዝማሪ ያሉ በግጥም ጀግንነትን፣ አርበኝነትን፣ ለሀገር መሞትን በልብ የሚሞሉ የወኔ ስንቅ ሲያቀብሉ የነበሩትን ጨምሮ በርካታ አዝማሪዎች በድሉ ያልተነገረ ሚና ነበራቸው። ሀገርን ለቅኝ ግዛት አጭቶ የመጣው የፋሽስቱ ጦር ታዲያ ለድሉ አዝማሪዎች የነበራቸው ሚና ተረድቷልና ሽንፈትን ተከናንቦ ከሄደ በኋላ ዳግም ለወረራ በመጣበት ወቅት ቀድሞ በትሩን ያነሳው የወኔ ስንቅ የሆኑት አዝማሪዎች ላይ ነበር። በዚህም የሀገር ፍቅር ስሜትን ያቀጣጠሉትና ለድል ያነሳሱት እነሱ መሆናቸውን በማመን በርካታ አዝማሪዎችን መርካቶ ላይ መሰየፍ የመጀመሪያው ተግባሩ አድርጎታል። በተለያዩ ሀገር በተፈተነችባቸው ጊዜያት ሁሉ ህዝብን በአንድ ስሜት በአንድ ልብ በጀግንነት አነሳስቶ ለድል በማብቃት አዝማሪዎች ያላቸው ድርሻ የጦረኞቹን ያህል አይነገር እንጂ ከፍ ያለ ነው።
That moment 200 years ago, Ethiopia faced one of the most modern army in the war at that moment, and they defeat that army because they have the national pride that it's better to die than to live as a slave of another country. And this is the same philosophy that we share, because Cuba is an island. We are dealing with problem with with a big superpower that try to impose their will to us, and we are fighting. So what is distinguish Cubans and Ethiopia is that we always keep fighting for what we believe. I want to congratulate Ethiopia in this. We are very close to the Adwa victory, And also, sometimes it's because of the history, we are close also to the victory in the War of Ogaden, Karamara battle, Karamara victory, that Cuba took part in that, so with the Ethiopian soldiers. So we share with you that joy, that joy to celebrate a victory, to be independent, and so my wish is to Ethiopia to achieve what they wanted, to have a big potential, and you deserve better. You deserve better.
Adwa victory is having a special meaning, not only for Ethiopian people, but for the whole African continent. It was like a message of future freedom and future independence. But for Ethio-Russian relations, this victory also has a special meaning. As we all know, a group of Russian medical doctors came here after this victory to treat the wounded Ethiopian patriots who struggled in this battle. And moreover, a group of Russian volunteer officers was in the ranks of the Ethiopian army during the preparation to Adwa victory. So we may say that our Adwa victory is, in certain meaning, a victory to the Russian people as well, and it is, of course, no doubt, a great victory and a great milestone in the development of our bilateral relations.
Ethiopians fought tooth and nail against the invading forces of fascist Italy, regardless of differences, and defeated the enemy. Adwa became the battleground when gallant Ethiopians refused to surrender their sovereignty to Mussolini's Italy, a latecomer in the colonial project. Also, having had to face a numerically and technologically far more superior army, Ethiopians under the able leadership of Emperor Menelik II chased the Italians out. Talking to Ethiopie, historian Ayele Bekari said Adwa victory helped Ethiopians to preserve their history, culture and language.
They want to make sure that their independence, their identity, their sense of who they are, their history, their culture, their society mattered a lot to them. So therefore they volunteered to go there and fight. And when they fought as Ethiopians. They fought, that's very important. You might be a gunner, you might be a horseman, you might be a foot soldier, or you might be the one who prepares the food, or the one who took care of the animals. Regardless of the role that you played there, they played that role in a manner that includes everybody.
Turning his attention to polarized views threatening to tear the nation apart, Ayele said the current generation must learn from the heroes of Adwa, who had to put their differences aside in the face of a foreign invasion. He is of the opinion that unity emboldened Ethiopians while facing one of the strongest European armies of the time.
The fact that they chose to be together, they chose to be united, and they chose to be united and fight the enemy that came from outside. And so that's their country. They were defending their country. And we don't have any right to undermine that kind of sacrifice that they've paid. So therefore, we shouldn't tolerate, because division never brought any kind of progress. Division will not bring progress. What brings progress is unity. We know that from history. In any situation, in any part of the world, if you examine those who achieved great things, they achieved it because they got united. They cooperated with one another.
Adwa represents the bravery and the heroism of the people and the unexpected but crucial triumph of Africans over a heavily armed European power. For some, it marked the beginning of a greater anti-colonial struggle in Africa and beyond. Compared to their well-resourced opponent, the victory of Africans against a colonial force became a symbol of black freedom on the continent and globally. Therefore, says Ayele, every Ethiopian should keep the entire historic events of the Battle of Adwa in his heart, as it is one of our identities against oppression that we always talk about, keeping our head high.
Set away the differences for a while and then address the issue of retaining, maintaining the sovereignty of the country. That's what they did. And then as a result, I call them the beautiful ones, because the beautiful ones will always remain beautiful because they gave us this beautiful country, passed it to us. You see, that's the way we need to see it. And then we have to be really firm and serious about those who try to kind of bring something that doesn't exist in history. That's the history of the Battle of Adwa and its victory.
The historian emphasized that enhancing awareness about Adwa victory and transfer the value of the victory in safeguarding Ethiopia's sovereignty and maintaining unity in diversity to the next generation is the main objective of the celebration camp March 1, 2023.
Journalist Hermela Aragawi, who is known for being a voice for Ethiopia through various demonstrations over the world and with media, said that the current generation should learn from the victory of Adwa and create its own Adwa.
The victory of Adwa was the victory of its time, right? And I appreciate people's love for it, and you know, I'm happy to see Ethiopians take a lot of pride in it. You know, I'm not particularly sentimental about these things because I just think they are, you know, stories in history and something to learn from. But I do think that we need to create our own Adwa in this day and age, but it's not going to look like that Adwa. It doesn't need to be in the Tormeda. I think it's a different kind of decolonization. I think it's going to be done through education and through learning about, doing a lot of learning and figuring out how to help ourselves so that we can be detached from these systems that are very oppressive. So I think we need to create our own Adwa 2.0.
Now we will still dwell on the victory of Adwa, and to tell us more in this regard, I'm joined here in the studio by Mr. Asnaga Sisai. He's African and Middle East Studies and research expert and author. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Shifarel. Thank you.
Absolutely. So let's first of all dwell on the significance of this landslide victory of Adwa. So how significant has the victory of Adwa been, especially in the fight against, you know, foreign aggressions, colonialism, things like that?
Yeah, that's a miracle, and that's the Adwa victory is the Ethiopian victory, but it's working for the Africans, the Afro-Caribbeans, and African Americans, and all the black communities and black struggle supporters, white people and organizations. This Adwa victory is a great achievement for all this community, and the main group is Ethiopians, especially the leader, the command of Emperor Minilik and Queen Taitu, and they are the major part of the Adwa victory, and also their generals as well. After all, the Ethiopian people were united, and from all sides of Ethiopia, they collect their armaments and their logistics, and they went through together on the battlefield, and they finished in 5 hours that battle. That was a very wise leader of Minilik. The credit is Minilik, yeah. And also we think always about we defeat Italians, but the Adwa victory is more than defeat Italians. It is defeating and crushed the Berlin Conference constitution and many policies, because that's the base. African scramble is started from Berlin Conference, and the Ethiopians gave to Italians. So the Italians came to invade Ethiopia, so based on Berlin Conference. So we demolish the Berlin Conference constitution. That's why all this Berlin Conference is established by 14 countries, 1 America and 13 European countries, and took measure by Otto, Chancellor Otto, the German Chancellor. So all these 14 countries doesn't like it because we smashed down that constitution. But we knew always we are talking about the Italians, but the Ethiopian has crucially defeated the Berlin Conference, that 14 superpower countries. And these 14 superpower countries, until now, they are hunting the Ethiopians. They destabilize Ethiopia in many ways. They gave us the constitution for us. That's why it's destabilized Ethiopia until now. They don't need a peace in Ethiopia. They don't need development in Ethiopia. They create many problems for us. That's the main thing because of the Adwa victory.
Wow.
And the Adwa victory is still shining with all the black community. It's owned by the world and the military system, the military science, the military sciences given by the Americans, then the Britain, and most of the European countries as a military science, just like that, yeah.
Absolutely. Indeed, the victory of Adwa is the beacon of hope for the black. Thank you so much for that wonderful idea.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On sait que les femmes éthiopiennes avaient joué un rôle sans précédent dans la bataille d'Adwa pour protéger la nation contre l'agression italienne. S'adressant à ETV, Fusum Kidana Mariam Adnafwerk et Ababaw Ayalo, respectivement conférenciers, motivateurs et historiens, ont déclaré que les femmes avaient joué un rôle immense dans la victoire d'Adwa. L'impératrice éthiopienne Taïtou Batul a apporté des tactiques de guerre sans voix à ses combattants éthiopiens pour anéantir les envahisseurs italiens afin d'assurer la première victoire noire de l'histoire du monde. En plus de fournir de la nourriture et de l'eau potable, les femmes éthiopiennes avaient participé au champ de bataille en tant que combattantes de la liberté à temps indiqué. Ababaw a souligné que l'impératrice Taïtou a géré tous les soutiens logistiques aux troupes éthiopiennes en gérant diverses calamités socio-économiques à travers le pays. Ababaw Ayalo, qui est un historien, a noté que la victoire d'Adwa est un fondement solide de l'égalité entre les Noirs et les Blancs dans le monde. L'Éthiopie entreprend des préparatifs pour observer la 125e victoire d'Adwa dans divers assortis demain à travers le pays.